hello there, YouTube, and welcome to Sunday, February the 14th of 2021. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's. There's old Kai. She looks like she's just out cold over there. But anyway, welcome to Sunday, and once again, happy Valentine's Day. You can definitely hear the gutters. I think it's supposed to get up to like 38 degrees today, so that'll knock a whole bunch of this out. And then rain's coming as well. So I was in the shop, I'm about to leave, and I noticed every Optimate except for the little small wall charger ones are all in the test mode. When they're flashing, it's going through, it's a 12 on, 12 off cycle. Well, since the power went out, it sets all the chargers the same. You see the iron, the slim, they're all in their 12-hour test mode. And what it does, it takes 12 hours and it monitors the battery and checks its ability to hold a charge, and it'll make adjustments from there. That's pretty cool. It's just weird that they're all flashing at the same time. Well, unfortunately, I think that's just simply rain falling now. It's all got to come to an end at some point. It always does. Then we'll be sitting out here going, good Lord, you remember when the snow was a foot deep out here? And the last decent snow we got, I think, was like 16 inches or something like that, if I remember right. That was a couple years ago, maybe 3. I remember Kelly and I doing a goodbye vlog under an umbrella using the shop lights. Oh, good Lord. It's 12 o'clock. It's high noon. The Daytona 500 started at 11:30. All right, we'll go in there and watch some racing for a little bit. Foster says there's something down in here. I know it. I can smell it. There's a ground squirrel crawling underneath the snow. She goes, don't bug me, I'm rooting. I smell something underneath here. What do you think, Annie? It's funny when Sasha breaks out of the trail and runs across there. She's just basically belly dragging. You guys remember Sophie playing in the snow? Used to have to walk them little tracks because she couldn't get anywhere. Did you have to come out here with me, Danny? Huh? Did Mama let you out? You freak out when I came out? Huh? Oh yeah. This is my little Yamaha EF1000. I bought this thing about 20 years ago. I used to go out to the races and photograph the racers at different points around the track, both road racing, dirt racing. I had a little minivan that had a little portable studio, had a high-end printer, and I could process and print the pictures right there on the track. Well, anyway, this basically ran my little station, laptop and printers and everything I needed for that. But nowadays, for any kind of use, bare minimum 2,000. I don't think Yamaha even makes the 1,000 anymore. I think theirs is a 2,000 or 2,200. But it's got eco mode, which it only runs as much as it has to. And when there's no load on it, it's just as idle. And got a couple of AC outputs. It's just basic stuff. There's your fuel on and off. It's just your petcock choke. There's a ground if you need a ground. Reset if you overrun her. And then this weird little thing here, I don't even know where the cord is. I think the Honda one works for it as well. but you can charge up a battery as well. Very convenient. That thing's probably got a bajillion hours on it. But when I'm done with it, I always drain the carburetor and dump the tank. But I left it's got a vent on the top. When you run it, you leave that open. Well, I must have left the thing open. I mean, all the years I've had this thing. But look at that. Yeah, because there's no gas in here, so I just sealed the thing off. And last time I used it in my haste, I must have just left it open. Your little sparky spark. Look at that. Spyder's been in there and made himself a nest. There's what a spark plug is at. Really simple to service. Valve adjustments easy on them. All the specs you need are all written there. I need to flip it around. The carburetor's on the other side, so let me flip that right quick and I'll be right back. So I have a brand new ratio right. This is I just bought this thing on a whim. The only time I ever used it was when I was redoing the fork oil on the iron. But you can't get your hand down in there to clean it properly. So if you ever see one of those things, bag it. Just get a regular ratio right. The nice thing about it does have a cap for it, but I have a brand new ratio right that is still has the wrapper wrapped around it. It's in the menagerie. Oh, look. Good old-fashioned ratio right. Them things have been the same since I was a young teenager. If you in the motorcycles, you ever wonder how many ratio rights you've gone through in your motorcycle life? Hundreds, probably. But anyway, let me get is that a Phillips? I guess a Phillips will work because it's a Phillips ore. If I remember right, the screw is captured in the lid. I love it when they do that for quick access panels. Does it come out? Yeah, look at that. It's captured in there. Yeah, it just snags in the threads, snag in the plastic. Get a light on here. I'll just use the camera's light. There's your oil. I think I went through an oil change with this thing. It's the coolest deal. See that little rubber piece right there? See it sticking out? Well, that's a cover for the pan. Well, that also pops out, and that's how you drain the oil is out. Out the fill hole, you just tip it over and drain the oil out of that. And then it clicks in and lines up with the fill hole, and it works as a funnel going back in. There's your drain for the carburetor. So you drain the carburetor, and then without turning the fuel on, you pull it over a few times, which of course the pull cord's on the other side. Pull her over a few times to try to suck what's out of the jets. And then if you have a vacuum petcock like the DR has, you need to pinch the vacuum line off. But the reason I want you to pinch this off is I want you to pull the choke and try to start it a few times and suck the jets dry. On this with a vacuum petcock, there is no off position. Off is when the engine's not running. There's a diaphragm that shuts the petcock off automatically, so you don't have to remember. But when you start it up, instead of going running your battery down to pulse it enough times that the diaphragm opens and fills your carburetor, but has a prime. And the prime works good for a flush. Like if you left fuel in there for a while, loosen the drain screw, drain the fuel, turn it on prime, let some fresh fuel flow through there, and then turn it off prime, let it stop, and then turn your screw, seat it off. Don't over tighten those, by the way. Turn it on prime again, fill the bowl up, fire the bike up, and take her for a ride. But never, ever just let your bike run until it runs out of gas. The level of fuel in the float bowl is higher than the lowest jet. And usually the lowest jet almost always is the main jet. The pilot jet is sitting pretty much right at the level of the fuel. The fuel's going to be sitting like right up in, I ain't pointing the camera. The fuel's going to be up in here. And you're leaving all that dead stuff in the bottom of your carburetor. Never do that. That does not work. That has never worked. I mean, people a year, and we'll start seeing it as the spring comes along. We'll always let it run until the engine stops running. Number one, that's not good, especially, you know, an air-cooled engine. They like a nice airflow. Do you got a fan you're putting on it, or are you just letting it sit in your garage and sit there and idle and just build heat without being cooled off? So anyway, what I do, I drain the carburetor, leave the fuel off, pull it over a few times, or in this case, hit the electric start or kick start if that's what you have. And the engine turns over, and with the throttle closed, the thing that's going to plug easiest is the slow speed circuit. So by turning it over with no fuel, it tries to suck fuel. Well, all it sucks is air. Well, it basically takes any residue of fuel out of that slow speed circuit or your pilot jet. The main jet, because you're letting it run until it stops, is just sitting in that nasty gas. And, well, I'll let it sit over the winter, and when I give it full throttle, it cuts out. Yeah, because your main jet was sitting there floating in it, in that nasty old fuel. So anyway, drain the carburetor. I just drain it into a beacon, and then I take the gas and dump it. It's just like a half gallon or less of fuel. I just turn it upside down and drain all the fuel out of the tank. That's it. This thing is set for, it's probably been 5 years since it ran. But anyway, drain the float bowl. You can still see it's dripping. This is the other side, that lever I was showing you that was the fuel petcock. There's the petcock right there. This is one of those speedo cable type things. When you turn the knob over there, it's turning the petcock on and off. And this thing uses a snowmobile type pulse fuel pump. And it's taking pulses from the crankcase and pulling the fuel out of the tank. There's a line coming up from the tank, and this fuel line comes across and feeds it into the carburetor, which goes down the float bowl. It's probably because it's set for so long. It took a while to get that pump to pump. It took, good Lord, it took 7 or 8 pulls to get that thing going. It's pretty crazy. You can see still that thing's draining, and that's pulling from that sediment bowl. You don't want your jets sitting there floating in that stuff. Drain that float bowl the proper way. I know some carburetors are really hard to get to, like my Yamaha Venture. It's a bear to get to those things, but you have to do it. It's the way you have to do it. All right, so I'm going to spin the thing around, leave the fuel off, and pull this thing a few times. I'm going to put it on the ground in case it leaks any more fuel here. Danny said he didn't like that. Wasn't paying attention, so I pumped her through a few times. A few times the fuel was in the dadgum on position. So the carburetor got a flush, and I verified the fuel pump works, even though I knew it did yesterday. Dadgummit. All right, I pulled her through about 10 times, and that's what little residue that was left in the pump. Ran that through the carburetor, and that's it. So everything is dry. My slow speed circuit has been sucked dry because I tried to start it, turn the engine on, fuel off, tried to start it, and she goes cut, and that was it. And then I kept pulling it till the fuel stopped dripping. And there we are. This thing will last, if I don't use it for another 5 years, she'll be perfectly fine. She'll be ready to go. So I had the air compressor running in there, and all of a sudden, boof, power went out. So I come running up to ask Kelly. And she goes, yep. She goes, everything just went out. So what am I doing? I'm taking my generator out of service, and the power goes out. Just absolutely perfect. Oh well, let me finish what I was doing. I was kind of air drying the residue out of the fuel tank. Maybe I should have waited. Drain the fuel that's in there out. And And there's just a light residue in there, and I was blowing her out with the air compressor, and everything just kind of came to a stop. All right, guess I'll finish up what I'm doing. I may be coming back out here to put this thing back in service again. What a freaking mess. Well, hello there, YouTube. So from 5:29 until 6:29, we were without power. It was right at an hour it came back.
Well, at least it was only an hour this time.
Yeah, it was a tree went over a power line. And, man, Kelly's, watching her police or emergency feeds or whatever those things are she watches on or reads on Facebook, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So,
Longview, us, everybody.
Yeah. There's how many people in Portland?
4,000.
4,000 people without power, and they said they may not have power for the next week.
So we have no room to complain.
Yeah, thinking, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was like the winter of 94 or 95.
Yeah,
somewhere
2
in
weeks, no power.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That sucked. Bad.
Yeah, that was not cool. But anyway, luckily, I didn't have to go back out there and put my generator back in service. I even thought about that once. Like, we'll be fine now. There's no more storm coming, so we'll be good. And then, boom. Literally, I thought the air compressor, because it was empty. It's been so long since I had it on. And the air compressor just running away. And I was like, whoa. Boom, lights went out. I go, man, I just blew all the power out in the shop. Nope.
No.
But anyway, I don't think there's anything stopping us from going to work tomorrow unless there's some crazy sudden storm, which doesn't look like anything like that's going to happen. So
yeah.
I think that's the winter storm of 21.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, hopefully the roads will be good.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk to you in the morning on the way to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give her a thumbs up. And you guys have an amazing Monday or Tuesday.
Heck yeah. Been in there watching the rain delay Daytona 500. They just completed stage 1. So I said, Mama, we're in between stages. Let's do a quick goodbye.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys in the morning.
Y'all take care.
Thanks now. Bye-bye.